I'm gonna wait till 6:30 to start speaking. Just in case.
Yes. There we go.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming to this IACAC virtual exploration meeting. And I'm just going to mention a couple of things, and then I'm going to turn it over to your presenter, Scott from the University of Oklahoma. First of all, if you have any questions, please do use the Q&A button to ask your questions. Your camera and microphones are off, so Scott will not be able to see or hear you, but he will be able to answer your questions from the Q&A folder. Also, just so that you know, there are many more sessions available. This goes over a matter of a few weeks, and so please do feel free to go out to the website, www.iacac.org, and check and see if there are any other sessions you'd like to attend. And remember that there will be a recording of this available, excuse me, within about a week on that same website. So without further ado, I give you Scott from the University of Oklahoma.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am going to get my screen shared here and get everything taken care of so I can be all set technology-wise. So it looks like we should see my screen there, and I will get the Q&A over on my other monitor. So if you do send any questions, please use the Q&A and I will answer them. If I don't get to them right away, I will definitely answer questions at the end. And so I will allow enough time for that to happen as well. But to get things started, my name is Scott Hillman. I am the admissions counselor for the University of Oklahoma. I'm the admissions counselor for all of Illinois. So if you live in the Chicago area, Central Illinois, Southern Illinois, the east side, the west side, all parts of Illinois, I am your admissions counselor. So I'm happy to be here to help you through the admissions process with OU, answer any questions today and beyond today, and I will share my contact information for you as well. I am based regionally in Chicago, so for some of you, I might be closer to you than either of us are to campus. I'll talk about campus location today as well. So, but to get things started, I will also say that I will refer to the University of Oklahoma as OU. One, because the University of Oklahoma is just a mouthful to keep saying over and over again. So we go by OU for short. That leads me to my first bit of trivia. And my first trivia fact for the day is that the reason why we go by OU and not UO, I get asked why we don't go by UO often, and that's actually because the University of Oregon was founded before we were. So they get to claim U of O, we are OU, and we're happily OU and have been for many years. So it's my fun trivia fact to get us started off today. You can see here we've got a map of Oklahoma, or an outline of Oklahoma, of the state, and the OU symbol is where we are located. So OU is in a town called Norman, Oklahoma. We are located in the Oklahoma City area, so Norman is a suburb of Oklahoma City. It is about 20 to 25-minute drive from downtown Oklahoma City. So it is a very quick drive to get downtown, really nice and easy if you're looking to go explore or check out any special events and things like that. OKC is just 20 to 25 minutes away. Norman and the parts of campus, parts of Norman that surround campus, I should say, it definitely feels like a college town. The added bonus is that it's not a college town in the middle of nowhere. It's a college town in the suburbs, meaning that we've got everything that the suburbs has to offer. So if you're looking for, places to eat, errands to run, shopping, movie theater, bowling, and so on, there's lots of outside of campus activities to participate in or check out, or places to go if you need like grocery store, pharmacy, we've got options. But campus itself does feel like a small college town on campus and off campus. And the next slide here, you can see is of campus. This is of our South Oval. So the South Oval of campus, pretty main kind of quad of campus, if you will. And most of the academic buildings surround the South Oval, or they surround the buildings around the South Oval. So that just kind of goes to show you that campus is really easy to get around. It's extremely walkable. You wouldn't have to catch a bus to get from one end to the other. You wouldn't have to drive yourself to get from one end of campus to the next. Most students walk. You could bike, you could rollerblade, skateboard. We have those electric scooters now. So we've got lots of options to get you on maybe a shorter set of wheels if maybe you're running late for class. But again, most students do walk since campus is really closely connected to each other, all the buildings. If we were to turn around from where this picture is being taken and face the other direction, we'd be looking at the residence halls. So the residence halls are right there in the middle of campus, next to the academic buildings. Again, kind of helps to show that that ease of campus and getting around is a very nice environment. It is required for our freshmen to live on campus. So freshman year would be required live in the residence halls. They are suite style with the exception of one building that is community bath. Otherwise, the majority of the housing is going to be suite style housing. For sophomore year and beyond, it is up to the students to decide what they want to do. So if they want to move off campus, you can move off campus. There are some upperclassmen halls on campus. So maybe you want to stay for sophomore year, but live with other upperclassmen. You could do that too. So we've got the upperclassmen halls as an option for students, but it really is up to the students to decide what they want to do for sophomore year and beyond. We've been around since 1890, so celebrating 130 years this year, which is exciting. My next bit of trivia with that is we were actually founded as a university before the state of Oklahoma became a state. So we were still official state, or not official state yet, we were a territory when we were founded back in 1890. So that's my next trivia fun fact for you all tonight. But 130 years later, we are still there. Some things have changed and some things haven't. One thing that has grown over the years is our size. Current undergraduate enrollment is 22,000 undergrads, which is I say upper mid-size university. It's not a small school by any means, but it's not a super, super large school. I think sometimes students and families that are looking into OU, they think we're a 40 to 50,000 student population, like a super large university. But a little bit more manageable in size, 22,000 undergraduate students. So definitely an active student body and lots of things happening on campus. But when it comes to the classrooms, it's more manageable in size. Our average classroom size is 32 students, and only 4% of the classes that we offer have more than 100 students in them. So that means that 96% of the classes that we offer have 100 students or less. So really nice classroom sizes. Again, average is 32, so you get to know other students in your classes very well. You'll also get to know your professors very well. Student to faculty ratio is 18:1. So even though we have 22,000 undergraduate students, a lot of activities and involvement that I'll talk about today, but a nice classroom size and easy to manage on the academic side of things. So it's not too large and overwhelming for your learning environment. Now to get those 22,000 undergraduate students, we do get students from all over. So every state is represented at OU. And actually we get international students from 125 different countries. So around the globe, we have students coming to OU to study as well. But as it comes to the US, again, all 50 states are represented. On this map here, you can see that the darker the shade of the state just means the more students that we get from those states. So obviously Oklahoma, our neighboring states like Texas, Arkansas, and Kansas, but we get as far west as California, as far east as Florida. In the Midwest, Illinois, Missouri, and Ohio tend to be the three larger states that we get students from. But again, we get students from all 50 states. 44% of the current student body at OU graduated high school outside of Oklahoma. So we are very out-of-state friendly. So obviously you all would be coming from Illinois, coming from out of state. And the good thing to know with that is that you wouldn't be the only ones. 44% of our students do graduate high school outside of Oklahoma. So very out-of-state friendly. And when it comes to Illinois students and their interest in OU, last year we had over 300 students apply for admission for fall 2020. So last year's high school seniors applying for this year's freshman class, it was over 360 students that applied for admissions. Of that group, we had 65% of them be admitted for our freshman class. That 65% is pretty consistent with the past several years for OU and Illinois applicants. So 65% on average. And then typically we usually get around 30 to 35 incoming freshmen from Illinois in our class. So I like to joke that an average class size of 32 students, that would be about all the Illinois students there. So definitely a smaller population there. But again, you're not going to be the only students coming from places that aren't Oklahoma. You can see here on this map here, we've got Illinois and some other states in what we call the Great Lakes region with some flight and drive times. So if you live in the Chicago area, there are direct flights from O'Hare and from Midway. You can fly direct right into Oklahoma City. There is an airport in Oklahoma City. It's also about a 20 to 25-minute drive from campus, so very easy to get to. It's a smaller airport, so it's also very easy to get in and out of that airport, which is nice. And again, you can fly direct from Chicago O'Hare and from Midway. Maybe you're more central or southern Illinois and St. Louis is a little bit closer to you. You can also fly direct from St. Louis. So there are direct flights from St. Louis to Oklahoma City as well. So you can fly direct. St. Louis flights are about an hour and a half. Chicago flights are about 2 hours, so pretty easy to get down there. Driving would take you about 12 hours from the Chicago area, give or take. And then from St. Louis, maybe 7.5 to 8 hours. So depending on where you're at in the state, maybe if you're in central Illinois, however long it takes you to get to St. Louis, and then from that point, maybe about 7 hours to get over. Otherwise, Chicago folks, about 12 hours to get there as well. We do allow freshmen to bring cars to campus. So if you have a car and you want to bring it to college, you can purchase a parking permit. You'd have to purchase a parking permit to bring it, but we do allow freshmen to do that. So you can bring a car down. Again, you wouldn't need it for getting around campus or driving to class and things like that, especially as a freshman living on campus. But maybe if there's parts of Norman that you need to get to, or you want to get down to Oklahoma City, maybe that would be a reason to bring a car down. So you could do that. We do allow our students to do that freshman year. We also do shuttles to the airport at like Thanksgiving break, the winter break, spring break. So if you do or don't have a car, but you're planning on flying back to Illinois for the holidays or things like that, or flying elsewhere, I guess, we would do provide a free shuttle at those breaks to get to the airport. So that is an easy way to get to and from at the holiday time. Now I mentioned that this map here has several Great Lakes states. So I'm talking like Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio. From this area, we have over 400 current OU students. So definitely a nice cohort of Midwestern students, of Great Lakes students. Over 400 plus currently attend OU. And then on the flip side, there are 7,500 current OU alums living in this area. So there are alumni chapters throughout the Midwest. Chicago has an alumni chapter that they do different events and watch parties for football and things like that. So on the flip side of things, if maybe you graduate and come back to Illinois with your degree and ready to start your career, you join one of the alumni chapters and be connected to other OU alums in this part of the US. So those are my beginning stats and information and location about where OU is and size and all that good stuff. Next, I'm going to talk about academics. So I'll talk about majors, campus life, and some other activities and involvements. So to talk about majors, we have over 170 undergraduate degrees. So there are a lot of different options for students to choose when it comes to picking a major. We have everything from education to engineering, business, aviation, performing arts, meteorology, journalism, and so on. A little bit of everything. When you're applying to OU, you just fill out a general application to OU. So you don't have to apply to the university and then to like the school or college of business, or apply to OU and then for your major specifically. I'm gonna roll to the next slide here so you can see some stats about some of our programs. But when you're applying, you kind of indicate what major you are interested in. So if you know specifically that you want to study, let's say meteorology, you can indicate that on your program. If there's a couple different majors that you're interested in, you can indicate all of them. If maybe you're kind of have it narrowed down, but you're not completely sure. If you know that engineering is where you want to go, but you're not sure which engineering, you can do something like engineering undecided, or just select undecided in general. So you have options. Again, it is a general application to OU, and you can indicate whether you know or not what program you are planning on studying. There are 3 exceptions to that rule though, and 2 of those are for our performing arts programs. So for our musical theater program and for our dance performance program, we have a modern dance and ballet performance programs. Those are super competitive, and they have tryouts, auditions, and a whole process in addition to just applying to the university. So if you're interested in dance performance or musical theater, I just encourage you to apply as soon as possible. And that way you allow enough time to go through their pipelines for their selection process for those programs. So again, musical theater and dance, you just want to apply as early as possible. Third program would be our aviation program. So if you are interested in our professional pilot program and our flying program, you would also want to apply as early as possible. We only have 50 seats for that program. It is given first come, first serve. So the earlier you apply, the better. I definitely recommend applying for that major by November 1st. So otherwise, any other program is open. You technically don't need to declare your major until the end of freshman year, but for those 3 programs, you would just want to apply as early as possible so you don't miss out on those opportunities. All of our programs are zero impact, and so basically what that means is that they are designed to get you in and out in 4 years, whether you know coming in as a freshman, whether you change your mind as a freshman or beyond, but our programs are intended to get our students in and out in 4 years, which means that they are zero impact. We are a Tier 1 research institution, so the Carnegie Foundation ranks us as a Tier 1 research institution, which basically means that we've got a lot of research going on. So whether it be something science related, dance related, education related, political related, and beyond, we've got research opportunities for our students to get involved with and get involved with early. So we do allow freshmen, sophomores, and beyond to get involved with research. So it's not something that you'd find that just upperclassmen or just graduate students can do. Our freshmen can come in and go right through a research program and start working with professors and faculty members on research topics and things like that. So definitely a nice component of us if you're looking on those hands-on work, the research, the investigative side of academics. You can do all of your research needs with us. This picture is from our Tom Love Innovation Hub. It's a free space for students to use. And so whether you're doing more hands-on work projects, if you're doing something research related or not, maybe just a fun project, you can use the Innovation Hub. You can see there's different tools and woodworking spaces. There's 3D printers. There's collaborative group space. So if you're working on a group project, you could use the Innovation Hub. If you want to go and make some different like handmade crafts and things like that for loved ones and holidays and birthdays and things like that, you could technically use the hub for that too. It is a free space for students to do that too. So just another little fun fact that kind of goes along with the research and the hands-on learning opportunities that we have for our students. Outside the classroom, we have 550 plus student organizations. So there's really something for all students to get involved with on campus. If we were to have some OU students here in this webinar today and ask them if they're involved in anything, all of them would have at least one thing to say. So pretty common for students to get involved with something on campus. And that can include things like student government, fraternities and sororities, volunteer groups. Usually each major has a student group associated with it. So there's a lot of things that students can do, whether it be fun, special interest, and beyond. We have lots of multicultural student life opportunities on campus as well. Those can also be student groups based on culture or heritage, religious, spiritual, and so forth. You can also check out different heritage months, theme weeks that might celebrate different aspects of multicultural student life on campus. So maybe it's not a student group you can join, but it's some special events you can check out. So, and that showcase different heritages and different cultures and things like that. So other great opportunities and part of our campus life. Our fine arts students put on lots of great performances. Again, I mentioned our musical theater and dance programs are super competitive, which means that they are super talented and the shows that they put on are outstanding. We've got different music groups too, whether it be vocal or instrumental. The Pride of Oklahoma is our marching band. There's different art exhibitions and galleries on campus too. So if you want to explore the arts or you're a lover of the arts already, those are some other things you can get involved with or check out while you're on campus. And athletics is another big part of our campus culture. So we do have, you can see our football stadium here with a capacity of just under 90,000. So a lot of folks we can fit in there on a game day. My next trivia fact for you is actually when the football stadium is at capacity, we've got just under 90,000 folks in there. The stadium actually becomes the 4th largest city in Oklahoma, which is wild. So that just shows you how big the stadium is. From that first photo I showed you at the beginning of this presentation of the South Oval, if we would have just turned to the right and been looking that way, we would be looking right at the stadium. So that's how close it is to everything, right in the heart of campus, differently in the center of all the action. So you definitely know when it's a game day and when it's not a game day. Outside of football, we have a lot of other great sport teams. Our men's and women's gymnastics team have won back-to-back national championships, sometimes back-to-back-to-back national championships. Our men's baseball and women's softball teams have won national championships recently, and a bunch of other sports as well. So definitely some other opportunities to check out some of our competitive sport teams. And the good thing with that is that we only charge tickets for students for football and men's basketball. Now I know those are probably the two of the most popular or two most desired games to go to. That's why we have to have tickets, because so many people want to be there. But if you want to go to a women's basketball game, check out one of those gymnastics meets. If it's a nice weather day outside and you want to go watch women's soccer, men's baseball, things like that, those are all free. So that's a nice perk of being an OU student. Outside of our Division I teams, we also have club sports and intramural sports. So club sports will have a level of competition to them. There will be tryouts usually for those teams, and you'll travel a little bit and compete against other universities. And then intramural sports will just be OU students playing against each other. So depending on the teams, it could be more competitive than others. It could just be some fun leagues that students are doing there, but great way to get connected and still be a part of athletics if that is something that you do now. And then outside of campus, obviously there's other places to explore in Oklahoma City, again, 20, 25 minutes away. So great opportunities to explore some things going on down there. When the NBA is not in a bubble, the Oklahoma City Thunder play downtown, so you can check out some NBA games. There'll be different concerts and musicals and other performances that will pass through town that you can check out. There's a lot of cool restaurants and neighborhoods with the different stores and things like that would be a great place to explore if you're looking for somewhere else to go. So lots to check out in Oklahoma City. It is a business hub for Oklahoma. So the great thing that means for our students is that there might be internship or other professional opportunities, job shadowing experiences, and so on, whether it be business or legal and political, things like that and beyond. Our students benefit of having Oklahoma City in our backyard, that they might get some internship or other professional opportunities while being an OU student and take advantage of our location. Could also lead to staying in Oklahoma City after you graduate. So Oklahoma City's got some great stats you can see here for young professionals. Number 1, top large US city to start a business. Number 2, cheapest city to live in the US. So maybe one of those internships leads to a job offer and you decide to stay in Oklahoma for a little bit and live in OKC. And again, it's a great place for young professionals, young entrepreneurs, and beyond to start out their careers post-graduation. And then beyond Oklahoma, we can take you around the world. So we do have study abroad programs. We have them in about 80 different countries in 200 different cities. So a lot of opportunities to go around the globe, do some studies and have it tied back to your degree while you're traveling around the world. About 30% of our students do participate in study abroad. So we have a significant amount of students that are taking advantage of those opportunities. We have the more traditional opportunities that might be study abroad for a full semester. And then we have some shorter opportunities too. So maybe a couple weeks in the summer, a week at spring break, and other examples like that. So maybe you can't commit to going abroad for a full semester, but you could do a couple week study abroad experience over the summer, and we've got those opportunities. So definitely want to get you those chances to explore the world and have it tie back to your OU degree. And again, about 30% of our students do take advantage of that. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about applying to the university and what we are looking for in our review process. Just gonna pause to get a quick sip of water. Okay, so for the application, we have 3 different ways that you can apply. We are on the Common app and the Coalition app, and then we have our own application as well. So one of 3 ways that you can apply. We just ask that you pick one. So if you start an app on our website and then submit via the Common app, it's not recommended. So if you commit to the Common app, submit through the Common app, and everything will be good to go. It does not matter which way you apply when we are reviewing. It doesn't make a difference. We again just ask that you choose one and submit your app that way. We have 4 main components of our review process for our holistic review of applications. And so you can see on the pie chart here, the 4 main components and the value that they have of the review process. So the largest section, that darkest navy blue of the pie here, that's gonna be everything academics related. So we will look at your transcripts from high school to see the classes that you took, the grades you earned in those classes, your overall GPA, if you did any advanced or honors, AP, IB, dual enrolled courses at a college or university, so you took a little bit more advanced classes, we'll know all of that and it was a review of the academic section. If you have ACT or SAT scores and you want to have them included with your application, that will also fall under the academic section. So we are test optional. We are going to be test optional for fall 2021 through fall 2025. So for the next 5 years, we will be test optional. So you can also apply without test scores. So if you're a senior now and you haven't had the chance to take the ACT or SAT, you can apply today without test scores if that's what works best for you. Even if you have test scores and you want to apply test optional, you can also do that. You can send in test scores after you apply if you don't have them included beforehand. You have options, but just know that you can opt into having test scores be a part of your review if you don't have them. Next section, the reddish crimson color, the next piece of the pie, it's going to be everything you have going on outside the classroom. So any student groups, extracurricular activities, sports that you're involved in, any volunteer work, if you have a job or had jobs, any leadership position in any groups, we want to know all of that. Any honors or awards, things of distinction that you've earned, we want to know that as well. This helps us know everything that you've got going on other than just being a student, going to class, doing your homework and getting good grades. We want to know everything else that you've got going on. So that section helps us know that. Third section there, the next blue, not the lightest blue, but I guess for using the pie chart, I hate that we have 3 shades of blue. There's so many other colors we could use. So but the next section is going to be the essay. And so we do have an admissions essay. If you apply via the Common App or Coalition app and you use one of their essays, that's totally cool with us. So just submit the essay with the application and we will read through those as part of the review process. And then the last little sliver of the pie, the lightest blue color, that is going to be a letters recommendation. We actually don't require any letters recommendation, so you can apply without, but we will accept up to 3. If you send more than 3, we're only going to read 3 of them. And again, we'll use the first 3 that you send us. We ask that at least 1 is an academic reference, so a teacher, counselor, somebody from your school. But beyond that, if you have like a coach or a job supervisor that you want to write a letter for us, that can be sent to us as well too. So don't have to send any, but again, we will accept up to 3. Next, I'm going to list out everything that we need for us to make a decision. So we'll need your completed app. We will need your official high school transcripts from your school. If your school did pass fail grades, especially in the spring of 2020 with COVID-19, that's totally cool with us. But we just need the official copies from your school. If you are opting into having your test scores be included with your application, we will need to know your test scores. You can self-report your test scores on your application. You don't need to send an official score report in. So if you're opting into having your test scores, you can self-report them, or you can send a score report in, whatever works best for you. Another good thing to know with our test scores is that we are also super scoring. So if you have multiple test attempts, we will super score your test scores for admissions and for scholarship consideration. If you apply test optional, so you don't have test scores, but want to send us test scores afterward, you can do that too. I'll talk about dates that you need to do that by, but just know that you can send in test scores after. We need your official admissions essay, and we also have some supplemental scholarship essays. You'll see they're OU essays with our application. Again, those are used for scholarship considerations, so you'll want to complete those. You can complete them after your application or with. You have the 2 options. You just want to get them sent in by our scholarship deadlines, so those essays can be used and get you in the running for some extra scholarships from OU. Letters of recommendation, we will need those if you are including them, and then application fee. So we do have a $40 application fee for our application. You can send in fee waivers if you have any, or contact me if you don't and you need one. And again, I will give you my contact information at the end. These are some important dates. So August 1 every year is when our application opens. So if you are a junior or underclassman, just know our app opens on August 1st every year. And then October 1st is when the FAFSA opens. So you can send your FAFSA information to us so we can start working on financial aid information for you. Our first deadline is November 1st. That is our early action deadline. So you will want to apply by then and get some added perks if you do so. So you'll get priority admissions processing, priority consideration for our scholarships. You'll get to be in the first group of students to sign up for orientation, to sign up for housing, and a bunch of other perks as well. So there's nothing binding with applying by November 1st, but you just get some added bonuses. So you'll want to apply by then. If you don't apply by November 1st, I would recommend applying by December 15th. That is our scholarship deadline. So any student that applies before December 15th is given consideration for our scholarships, both merit and non-merit. So you'll want to get your application submitted definitely by December 15th. If you submit your application and don't do those supplemental scholarship essays I was just talking about, make sure you get them in by one of these 2 dates. So get them in by November 1st if you apply today, or get them in by December 15th if you don't get them in by November 1st. After that, February 1st is going to be our more concrete application deadline. And then on February 3rd is when orientation starts getting scheduled for the following year. So that's when the students that apply by November 1st, they'll get the first grabs at orientation dates. And then April 30th is our test score submission deadline. So you can send in new test scores, ACT or SAT, all the way through April 30th of senior year. So if you apply test optional and then want to send us test scores later, or you apply with test scores, but you want to keep taking the ACT or SAT, you can do that. Send us in your new scores all the way through April 30th. If maybe you're admitted and you have a scholarship, but with a new test score, it gets you a higher scholarship, we will make those changes. So just send us in any new test scores by April 30th. And then May 1st is our commitment deadline. So May 1, you'd want to let us know, hey, I'm coming your way next fall, or hey, I'm not, sorry. But either way, we'd want to let you know. That's a pretty common deadline for most universities. Okay, so we are getting closer to the end here. My last section here before my final notes is going to be on cost, scholarships, and financial aid. So to get into the cost of OU, you can see here on the screen is our non-resident direct cost of attendance. So we do have in-state and out-of-state, or what we call resident and non-resident tuition. So coming from Illinois, you would be non-residents. Our tuition and fees for non-residents is just over $28,000 for the full year. That includes 30 credit hours for you to use over the full academic year. So maybe the fall of freshman year, you take 15 credits, and then the spring you take 15 credits, and there's your 30 credits total. If maybe you do 12 in the fall and then 15 in the spring, and you've got 3 extra credits, you could do a 3-credit class over the summer with us, and that would still count with what your tuition is giving you. So tuition and fees gives you the 30 credits for the full academic year. Also like to point out that our tuition and fees have remained the same the past 3 years, so we've not had a tuition increase in over 3 years. Next cost underneath that is room and board. So again, it is required for freshmen to live on campus. So the room and board charges would be what you would be paying for that. Once you move off campus, you obviously would not be paying room and board anymore, so that cost would go away. Books is your final direct cost, bringing up your total to just over $40,000 for the full academic year. Now that's not counting any scholarships that you may receive, any financial assistance, any grants, or things like that that you will get to bring the cost down. So that, again, is just the cost without anything helping bring the cost down, like a scholarship. We are currently reevaluating our scholarships. So the QR code or the link on your screen here will take you to the page where they will be posted once they are voted and made public. Typically in the past, we've only had one scholarship that was available for students with a GPA and no test score. And since we're going test optional, we are working on making some changes to our scholarships to have more opportunities for our test optional students. So those will be voted on here in October. So definitely check out the websites for more information and when those are posted. And again, those are going to be for our merit scholarships, so what you'll receive automatically. We have other information on there about our non-merit scholarships. So might be some information on scholarships based on leadership or community service. We have schools or majors and programs that give out individual scholarships. So those are some other things not merit related that you might get on top of merit related to help bring the cost down. Okay, so we're gonna run through the last couple things here, and then I will take any questions if there are any. We are open for campus visits right now. So for October and November, there are dates posted Monday through Friday, several opportunities a day, and then several Saturdays a month where you can come down and visit us on the weekend. So definitely want to sign up for those online. They do fill quickly, so definitely want to talk with your family if you're thinking about going down and sign up for a campus visit date. We will make further months available once it gets closer. If you're not comfortable with visiting campus right now, especially in the midst of COVID-19, we recognize that. And so we have a ton of virtual resources available right now. We have a live student guided tour, so you can sign up for a live tour and a student does a live stream of the campus tour, so you can see what it looks like through your phone or through your computer, but a live guided tour. We also have some pre-recorded videos too, so you can see what campus looks like virtually. We have more webinars and things like that. So we have an admissions webinar. We have one on financial aid, the cost of OU and scholarships. Some of the academic colleges do their own. There are opportunities to sign up with current OU students. So you can do a one-on-one session with a current OU student, get all the juicy details about what it's like to be an OU student, all the insider information. all that and more on our website. So if you're on our admissions website, it's going to be under the COVID-19 tab. So just know that's where you can find all of our virtual resources. You can also follow us on social media to stay in touch. @GoToOU is our handle for everything. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, those are our main three sources of social media. The Instagram is my favorite. We'll do student takeovers. So a student will get access to our Insta story and they'll get to do a day in the life through our Insta story, and you can kind of see what a day in the life is like for them. We'll do giveaways, other cool announcements. The Instagram is also just very visually appealing, and so it's nice to look at, very pretty. So definitely check us out on social media. Again, @GoToOU is our handle. And then you can contact me if you have any questions. My email address is on the screen there, scott.hillman@ou.edu, and that'll be your direct way to email me. You can also call the number on your screen there. The 405 number is actually the campus number. And so I will also say my local phone number for Illinois. If you have a pen and paper ready, I will give you that. That way you can get in touch with me since I am based in Chicago, not on campus. But my phone number is 312-259-9420. So you can call or text me. Again, that's 312-259-9420. So that's the direct way to call me. Email on your screen is the direct way to email me. You can also send any email to admissions@ou.edu, and that will also end up to me. Either way, please get in contact with me if you have any questions. And since I just mentioned questions, that brings us to the end. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and use the Q&A section, and I will take all of those. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen here so I can see the questions a little bit better. So if you have any questions, definitely use the Q&A, send them in, and I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, that does bring us to the end of the presentation. So I thank you so much for taking time out of your evening tonight. I know near me, it's a beautiful evening. Outside is a beautiful day today. So I appreciate you taking the time tonight to be glued to your phone or your computer and watch the presentation. Please follow up with me if you have any questions afterward, but I will stay here and hang out if there are any questions. Otherwise, you're free to go. So thank you so much.
Everyone, I have to give them just a little bit of information.
Yes.
Before they.
Sorry. Thank you, Dina.
No, that's okay. So let me just quickly share my screen here. I didn't want to interrupt your flow there. Can you see the screen okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. First of all, as Scott said, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And just a couple of notes. When you do close this window, a survey will pop up. It's super quick, 4 questions. We'd really appreciate your feedback. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning, there are more sessions. So feel free to go to the website and check the schedule and see if there's anything else you're interested in. And then this was recorded, and so a recording will be available on that same website, which is www.iacac.org. So as Scott said, have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much. Do you have any questions you want to answer, Scott, or shall I go ahead and close it?
I don't think I have any questions coming in.
Well, one of the participants already left, so I guess we might as well go ahead and close it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.